Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth Podcast. I'm Anish Gupta, and it's a little bit weird saying it just on my own, but today I'm doing an episode on my own. It's, I think, the first time I've done it, and today I'm going to be going over basically the 2020 NFL awards that I think are going to happen. And keep in mind, these are well far-fetched. These are far, in advance, so I'm probably going to be wrong on a lot of them, but I'm going to start it off right away and talk about the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's a pretty obvious pick. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. I think, in my opinion, he's had the best college football season of all time. Again, like 60 touchdowns. I mean, he threw 7.5. He was going insane. I mean, went undefeated, played five top 10 teams in the SEC, and especially in that conference to do what he did was amazing. And I think coming in to Cincinnati, shout out my boy Jared, but again, they've got a lot of weapons for him, right? Joe Mixon is there. I believe they still have Giovanni Bernard. I really like the receivers, A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, John Ross. I mean, there's a plethora of weapons for him to use. And C.J. Osama can be also really good. Their O-line is getting better too with Jonah Williams coming back. And I just think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to throw the ball, considering that I just feel like they'll be down in games, and I think he's going to get the opportunity to throw it a lot, and I think that'll result in some really good stats. Unfortunately, I just don't have him winning as many games, but we've seen it happen before. I mean, Kyler Murray won 5 games last year and was the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think they favor quarterbacks a little bit, but I will give my honorable mentions throughout this episode, and I'll say honorable mention for Rookie of the Year offensively is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And look, first off, guys, if you're playing fantasy, please, I wouldn't take him first overall. He's a borderline first rounder for me. I think I need to see it on the field. But again, last time I saw him in LSU, right, his LSU teammate, 1867 scrimmage yards and 17 touchdowns, which is really, really good. Obviously, he's a threat out the backfield, and he's put in a situation where he is just going to thrive, in my opinion. I think he's put in the best situation possible for a rookie running back. I mean, one, he's a pass catcher, and you've got the best quarterback in the NFL throwing you the football, so it's going to help. Obviously, the Chiefs are a pass-first offense, and he's just another weapon that you'd give to Patrick Mahomes. Out of the backfield, he's just going to be stellar. We've even seen him with Kareem Hunt back in 2018, how well he was doing in the passing game. So I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire can have a great year as well. But again, I think they favor quarterbacks just throughout the process, and at least throughout the last couple of years I've seen. So I think unless CEH leads the league in scrimmage yards like Saquon Barkley did, highly doubt it that he'll win Offensive Rookie either. That's why I go with Joe Burrow. But again, never count him out. So we'll switch it up to the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And here I'm going to go with my OSU guy, Chase Young. And I just think, again, he's going to get the opportunity to sack as many quarterbacks as he's like. And again, Washington's got a decently hard schedule. So I think he's going to get the chance to tackle some quarterbacks that he's been looking forward to. And it's obviously AFC North. I mean, who knows? Maybe Chase Young against Lamar Jackson. We'll see that. But I think back to his college stats, 7 forced fumbles and 16.5 sacks, and he did get suspended too. I mean, this dude was a monster, and I think he's just poised in a great defensive line for the Redskins, who I think is very underrated. Think about it, right? Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Ryan Kerrigan on the opposite side. Ryan Kerrigan has been good. He did have a down year. I think he had 5.5 sacks last year, compared to 13 the year prior. But again, with that type of leadership helping Chase Young, and again, you've got good interior linemen, I think the sky's the limit for this guy, and I think he's going to take Defensive Rookie of the Year. My honorable mention is my other OSU guy, Jeff Okudah. I know it sounds a bit biased, but hey, I got to show love to my guys from the Buckeye Nation. And I think for him, Jack even said it earlier in a previous episode, it's just hard for a cornerback to win it. But the thing is, this dude is reminding me of Jalen Ramsey and a bit of Darrelle Revis. I mean, like, let me break it to you down this way. He hasn't allowed over 50 yards in a game in his college career. That is absurd. And he is just an island on his own. And it's crazy because when I watch Ohio State games, yes, Chase Young has always been, the best player on that team, but Jeff Okudah stands out to me more. And he's like, I watch him just in the end zone, how good he is red zone coverage wise. I mean, 6 15-yard gains on 400 snaps. That's just insane to me. And again, the way he played against Clemson, T. Higgins was another thing I thought was really solid. I will say it again. I think I've said it 50 times on this show. It should have been a fumble, but it is what it is. So I think those are my Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates. And let's go to Offensive Player of the Year. Now, this is where it kind of gets interesting because I know a lot of people are going to say Christian McCaffrey, and that is my honorable mention. Christian McCaffrey is my favorite running back in the NFL. I think he's the best running back in the NFL, no question. But the problem is, I think they have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. They're going to try and feed them the ball. I think Teddy Bridgewater, they're going to get, a lot of passing downs out of their $21 million man. So I think CMC is going to get the opportunities. I think he'll probably get 1,000 again. But the guy I'm going to go with is actually Saquon Barkley. And the thing is, I think him and Daniel Jones are going to do really well together. And again, he had 2,000 scrimmage yards his rookie year. I think he's going to build off that. And I feel like he's going to ascend himself as a clear-cut, 1 or 1A running back. I think these two are going to be the top two running back for a while. Because right now, I think I have Derrick Henry over him, just a slight edge because Saquon was injured last year. But I think he overtakes him this year. I mean, Saquon Barkley, again, we've seen what he can do. He's just a freight train, but at the same time, one of the most elusive freight trains in the NFL, I think, ever. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what this guy can do. Again, I'm a big believer in Daniel Jones. So if Danny Dimes can find him out the backfield, maybe, who knows? Maybe he goes for 1,002. So I think Saquon Barkley will be my candidate, and I just think he's going to do more for that offense. And I know that sounds really contradicting to what I think of CMC. It's hard for me because I always expect another player to take a leap. That's what I always expect in the NFL, and I think everyone should realize that when they're making these award predictions. It's just there's always that story for any award, and I think Saquon has it this year. So I'm going to go to my defensive player of the year now, and I was torn. It's two AFC North candidates in my opinion. It's between Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. And I flipped with it back and forth, but I did in the end give a little bit of bias, and I did go to Myles Garrett because he's hungry, man. I mean, that suspension, I believe it was week 10, I can't recall, but it was just or week 11, but it was just heartbreaking for all Browns fans. And it was also heartbreaking for him because he is not that type of guy. I mean, he's our leader for social justice issues for the Browns social justice department. He has done so much off the field. He's a great guy, and he's going to be known for that one incident. And I think that's very bogus. But again, you can't deny the talent from this guy. The first NFL snap he took was a sack. So he's got a lot of talent, right? 10 sacks in 10 games, 2 forced fumbles. And again, I think the sky is the limit for this dude. This is again a bit biased, but he's got a chance at the sack record. I mean, this dude jumps out of my screen whenever I watch him, and I think his finesse ability off the edge, especially when he's spinning, is just absurd to me. And I think with an easy schedule that he has, right, he's not playing the best offensive lines except aside from the Ravens, I think. So he's really got a chance to go crazy this year. And again, I mean, TJ Watt, if he wins it, got no problem with it. I would not be mad because I wouldn't be surprised at it because TJ Watt, again, 14 and a half sacks, right, in 16 games and 8 forced fumbles. That's just monstrous to me. And I think they play a little bit different because Garrett is obviously an edge while TJ Watt plays at the linebacker spot. So I think, and also TJ Watt this year, another thing that's a bit discouraging for me is I think Devin Bush is going to develop a little bit more. So maybe take a little bit more of those stats away. But again, if TJ Watt leads this team to like 12-4 and he's the leader of that defense, oh, no question, he's defensive player of the year. So I think it's between one of these two. I just don't think a cornerback can get it. I think what Stephon Gilmore had, he had a mix of just an insane year and also a little bit of lackluster play from some defensive end, like Khalil Mack didn't have the best year. I think Aaron Donald had a good year, but a little bit down compared to his 20.5 sack year 2 years ago. So I think that is probably my issue with it. But again, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, one of the two I'll be happy with. So I think we're going to go now to comeback player of the year. And again, I'm a little bit biased on it, but I got to show love to my guy, Cameron Newton. And I think he is the prime position for it because everyone I've seen in Patriots camp, and I've talked to Patriots fans about this too, everyone's talking about how he's had an insane work ethic in training camp. I didn't even think he was going to start week 1. I was not confident on it. I thought Stidham should have gotten the start, but the dude is earliest at the practice facility and always the last to go. And we've seen guys like Julian Edelman, N'Keal Harry comment on it, Devin McCourty as well. So he's gotten respect from his teammates. And again, getting that captain position from Bill Belichick, I think that's very underrated going into the year. And if he makes the playoffs, I think it's a lock. I have him going 8-8, but really, again, he could. It depends because the last time we saw him, right, in the last 8 games, he was healthy. He went 6-2, and the Panthers were looking really good that year, and he was an MVP candidate. So I'm not saying he can hit that. I'm still unclear about his injuries because I'm kind of one of the more skeptical guys regarding NFL players. So I need to see it. But again, you guys know how much I love Cam Newton, so I really hope he kind of proves the other guys wrong, proves Jack wrong, in my opinion, and gets this comeback player of the year. But my honorable mention would be Big Ben Roethlisberger. just not sold on how his elbow injury. And again, he's 38, doesn't have the best offseason pedigree. So we need to see how he does. But again, he led the league in passing, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had 5,000 last year, or sorry, 2 years ago. And again, he's got Juju Smith-Schuster. I think they've got a good connection. Hopefully they can reestablish that. James Conner can definitely help him. He's an underrated pass blocker too. So I think Big Ben can win it if he makes the playoffs too. So it's one of those two. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Newton takes it, and that's my favorite right now. So moving on to Coach of the Year. And I think this one was a little bit tough because it's hard to say who would win it. Like, it's hard to pick the favorites, like, Kyle Shanahan or something like that, or Andy Reid. I just don't think it works like that. I think it's always a story. So that's why I actually went with Sean McDermott, and I think he's been always a finalist for it, but I think this is the year he wins it. Because I've got Buffalo going pretty far, and I think they go 11-5. But let's say they, take a top 2 seed, steal it from the Ravens or the Chiefs. He's gonna be in some consideration for that award because he is a great coach, offensively and defensively. He's a great motivator. All the players in Buffalo like him, and he's established a Buffalo culture, right, where it's a grit and grind, type of thing. And the Buffalo fans love him. And I'm really excited to see this Bills team. You guys know how much I like Josh Allen. I think he's going to help him elevate. So I think Sean McDermott wins the Coach of the Year. And my honorable mention would be Frank Reich from the Indianapolis Colts, because I have the Colts doing well this year. I'm going 10-6. And again, I think he helps Phillip Rivers get a little bit back on track. Obviously, last year wasn't the best year for him. I think he had around 20 interceptions. So I think Frank Reich will keep that down, and he will definitely help elevate this offense along with the offensive line, which is already, in my opinion, top 2 in the league. So I need to see this defense also step up. I really think this defense could be top 6. I mean, maybe even top 5. Darius Leonard, man. I mean, he could morph into a Luke Kuechly type of player. Obviously, we need to see it a little bit more, but 2 All-Pros in his first 2 years. Great pickup for them, for the Colts. And again, Quentin Nelson. It's funny because they traded back with the Jets, and they were able to get him. So really good play there by the Indianapolis Colts. And I think Frank Reich is due for Coach of the Year if his team can go as far as I think they can. Now, for the final award, which is Most Valuable Player, a.k.a. MVP. I'll start it off by saying this. If you're a football fan, your favorites should be Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, maybe even Tom Brady. I think those should be your favorites because I don't think Lamar will get it again, just because I don't think he can replicate the same season. And he just doesn't have that story anymore. Like last year, he took the league by storm. He had this flash to him, the big trust, woo-woo, that type of thing. But I just don't think he will take the same type of leap next year. I mean, I don't know how much you can get better from that. I think he regresses a little bit, but not to the point where I say, oh my God, he's not in my top 5 anymore. So I think Lamar will continue to do his thing. I just don't think he'll have the story. Patrick Mahomes can definitely win it again just because of what he does, and I think he'll put up the stats. I just don't know if he'll put up the same stats he did in 2018, 50 touchdowns, but he'll definitely do something. And Russell Wilson, again, a guy who's never gotten an MVP vote in his career. I had him as the favorite for the first 8 games last year, and then Lamar took it over and became the unanimous MVP. So Russell Wilson should definitely be there. And don't forget Deshaun Watson if he makes the playoffs. What he would have been able to do without DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is very, very, very underrated. So he's a cold quarterback. He makes plays with his legs, makes plays with his arm. So hopefully he pulls that out. But my MVP pick is Carson Wentz. And before everyone gets mad at me, if there's Cowboys fans out there, they're probably going to kill me for saying this, but it is Carson Wentz. He's 2017, he had a Patrick Mahomes year before Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he led the league in touchdowns in only 13 games, or 12 games, might add you. And I'm convinced he would have won that Super Bowl had it not been for injury. And it sucks to say that because he's my favorite quarterback in the NFL. And I really think he's going to do it next year. I think he's going to lead the league in touchdowns. I think he's in prime position. And there's a lot of things going against him, though. I mean, no left tackle, no right guard. Everything's going against my boy Watkett to him. But I think he can pull it out just because I think if he goes crazy with the Eagles, pulls off some really iconic upsets against the Niners and the Ravens, which I see, and I think if he elevates his team and goes pretty far, this dude could win it. And I thought he should have won it in 2017. Well, he didn't. And I think he brings a type of story where it's like, wow, okay, this dude is going crazy without, any of his guys. He doesn't have many receivers besides Rager, Jackson. I mean, Jeffrey's still hurt. We don't know what he's going on with him. Ertz and Goddard are good, so hopefully he can elevate them. Carson Wentz is going to be my pick, and I know people are going to be mad at that, but he is my dark horse. So obviously I think Mahomes, Wilson, Deshaun, and even Tom Brady should be ranked above him. but Carson Wentz is my guy. And then a sleeper, a very big sleeper. Keep in mind, this is a very big sleeper. Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. I'm telling you, if he elevates his game and again goes like 12-4, has an insane season, goes pretty far, he'll get some MVP votes just because he's, again, a quarterback and he's made this Buffalo team good. And I hate when people say he gets carried by his defense because he doesn't. He has the intangible. I've seen him win games on his own. The game that sold me was the Minnesota one back in 2018 when the Minnesota went 13-3 the previous year. And at Minnesota, he shuts them out, which was really impressive to me. So I think Josh Allen is due for great things, and he's an underrated sleeper. I just got to throw in Baker Mayfield in there if he goes crazy, but probably won't happen. Okay, it won't happen. But Carson Wentz is my pick. Josh Allen is my sleeper. But again, Mahomes, Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and Tom Brady should be the favorites. All I'm saying is I'm picking a sleeper here. So yeah, to kind of wrap this episode up, thank you guys for watching. It was a really short episode. I kind of enjoyed making my own kind of picks, going through the research and seeing what players I wanted to pick. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out our socials down below: Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys again for 200 subs. Road to 300 is on the way, and please check out our channel and our Instagram for more giveaways. Stay tuned for that during the season. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.